All eyes on Doge. Big run up. To the moon. Whew. Doge still going up. All eyes on Doge. Still big run up. To the moon. Keep going up. Going up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Up. Movement in Doge. Dogecoin. Up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Up. Movement in Doge. Dogecoin. 42. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin.
Hey everybody, Kriss here. Welcome on a Sunday afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome. Yes, things are bearish still. And so today in the live, we're going to be looking at bear market signals. And just remember, nobody knows if we're in a bear market or not. And Ruben, the old I told you thing, that doesn't work here. So we'll just set that off right from the start. The I told you thing doesn't work here, okay? Nobody knows what's going to happen in the future. You can guess. Maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong. But as of now, nobody knows if we're in a bear market. A bear market is not confirmed until we're in the bear market. So if you sold the top already, good for you. Congratulations. Many think the top isn't in yet. So we're going to talk about both sides of the story today, with the reminder, nobody knows the future. You're guessing. You're guessing. We try and use the news. We try and use the charts to help us determine what the future looks like. But we don't know. Ruben, you can say, I believe we are in a bear market, right? You can say that, but not we are in a bear market because you don't know yet. You don't know yet. The best thing you can do is take advantage of the opportunity that's before you and decide if we are in a bear market, which means you're not buying and you're going to wait around for a year or two before you start buying, right? It doesn't look good. That is correct. I didn't say hopium. All I said was we don't know, right? I will show you other opinions. Some have hopium, some are positive. Some are negative and think we're already in a bear market. I'm just showing you the options because KrissPax here, I don't have an effing clue. Just like neither of you, nobody knows. So now that we got that off the start, hey, how's everybody doing? Yes, Dogecoin is in the 15s and it's at the bottom of the red box here, which is 15.4. We touched the bottom of the red box. This is my critical support for Dogecoin. And you know what? Yeah, we're not below it. We're not below it. So when I said Dogecoin closes a day below the bottom of the red box, that is when I'm concerned. Okay? We're not there yet. And I haven't moved this red box. I haven't changed this red box, right? We're at the bottom, yes. But we haven't had a daily close below that. So we'll be watching that. Additionally, Bitcoin just touched into the 93s. But the more important thing on Bitcoin, again, as I've said, is BTC CME. Yeah, Bitcoin futures, right? The Bitcoin futures. We got a gap right down here. The gap goes from 93.4 down to 91.7, all the way back to April. This is the open CME gap right here. Has it closed yet? No, it has not. So what I said was, in my opinion, if Bitcoin closes the CME gap, 91.7, see that 91.7 right there, closes the CME gap, what is Bitcoin's next move? Many believe it closes the CME gap and it moves higher. There are some who believe, right, it still won't close the CME gap and think that it's oversold here and we move up. And of course, there are the third who believe we close the CME gap and Bitcoin continues to go down into the 80s, that is when KrissPax says it looks like we're in a bear market. So according to things that I have said about both Dogecoin and Bitcoin, at the moment, I do not believe we are in a bear market, but we are very close. And I've been consistent about that all week. Some people saying, oh, you keep changing your mind. You guys have been here. You've been listening to me, right? So sure, we can look at prices. If indeed this was the high, right, of the cycle, 126 up here that we had early October. If that was the high, we'll do some, we'll look at some charts, and we'll look at some price targets on that. Okay, but as of now, Dogecoin is still in the red box, which was a box of concern. You all saw me draw the red box, right? We've been in it. We came up, touched the purple box, back into the red. We are still in the red box. Again. And TrueCon, many people will call it a bull market all the way down, right? I am close, but I'm not there. So, all right, let's get through the stuff. Ash Crypto, BTC, Death Cross. Oh, Death Cross. Oh, right. As Kriss predicted, again, somebody on X said, you didn't predict that. Yeah, I did. A week ago, I predicted this was coming in toward a death cross, and it happened last night. Now, many times we have seen death crosses actually turn around and be bullish, and I've got a chart on that here. So, Bitcoin after a death cross, right? Because a lot of you are asking, right? What happens in the past when Bitcoin has had a death cross? What has happened? And 1 week later, if you take all of the death crosses that have happened from 2014 till April 2025, the average is up 0.25%. 1 week after a death cross. The average is purely average, like nothing. It's a nothing burger. Okay. 2 weeks later, Bitcoin is up over 2% on average after a death cross. And 3 weeks later, Bitcoin is still up an average of 2%. And of course, 2 months later, Bitcoin's up an average of almost 16%. So death cross means nothing, as I have said many, 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 many times, right? Death cross just shows you the current trend. It shows you what has happened, but it doesn't predict the future. So the whole naming of it of a death cross, just like the naming of a bull cross, doesn't mean diddly squat. Okay? So we got that cleared out, right? Death cross, yay, happened. Some people think we'll bounce from the death cross, but the average shows, as I just showed you on the charts, the average shows you it's a big nothing burger, and a week later, we're going to be at the same price right around 94K. Averages are. All right. All right. Let's continue. Crypto Rover says, look, according to the 4-year cycle, right? The 4-year cycle, guess what? Bull market's over. It's over. So for those that were always talking 4-year cycle, here we are, the middle of November. This is the time that I was saying, if we were indeed in a 4-year cycle, and for the past year, I've been saying this, I'm probably going to be selling right around, late October to mid-November. And of course, I am on record of saying that. This year is different. This year is different. And there are many who are saying that October 6th was the top of the bull cycle, and we're now in a bear market. Could be. And we talked about that the other day, that the 4-year cycle may not actually be a 4-year cycle, but it's a 3-year and 11-month cycle, because we had December all-time high, 2017, November all-time high, 2021, and guess what 2025 was? In October all-time high. I know I did not sell my bonk. I haven't sold anything except Peak. Peak was the only thing I sold. Everything else I'm still holding. I have not been confirmed we're in a bear market. So this is interesting. Crypto Rover, who is a perma bull. Crypto Rover is a perma bull, and he posts this. 4-year cycle, bull market is over. Okay, so we have that. So we got the death cross, nothing burger, right? And we've got the 4-year cycle. If indeed it's a truly 4-year cycle or 3-year and 11-month cycle, it's over and we're in a bear market. Satoshi Flipper says, look, it's absolutely fascinating watching 95% of crypto Twitter debate the definition of bull and bear market structures. Right? Because that's what's happening. And we're debating it here too. Half of you think we're in a bear market, half think in a bull. Well, maybe not half and half, but maybe a third of you believe we're solely in a bear market. A third of you think we're in a bull, and the other third is probably meh, right? So we will do this again. Start a poll. Here we go. What kind of market are we in? Bear, bull. And then the third option is, again, my favorite, meh. So vote in the poll and let's see what you think. This is a very, very mathematical poll. The crab is a math. So that'll be right in the middle. Math. Once it's a bear, it's too late. Correct. Everyone's correct. That's correct. And then you got to decide what to do. Uncomfortably math. I like that. Little Pink Floyd reference there. I like that, Goose. So look, it's absolutely fascinating watching 95% of crypto Twitter debate the definition of bull and bear market structures based on the price, which ends the current consolidation descending channel in a 4-year cycle calendar period. Absolutely mind-boggling when really it has nothing to do with it, according to Satoshi Flipper. If we look closely at the weekly price, then it's a bear market. That's what somebody said. However, we've got this guy, Raul Paul, right? Now, Raul Paul, sometimes he's right, sometimes not, right? Remember Banana Zone? We were all talking about Banana Zone. Banana Zone didn't really happen, did it? Not much of a Banana Zone, right? But Raul Paul says Bitcoin isn't lagging. It's literally tracking the ISM PMI, otherwise known as the business cycle, the ISM PMI. And according to his chart, the ISM PMI is starting an upswing, which will go into 2026. And so he says, 2026, baby. No banana zone. He hasn't predicted that again. But he's saying the business cycle drives Bitcoin, not the 4-year cycle, or like I say, the 3-year, 11-month cycle. So there are some bulls out there who think that October totally screwed the crypto market with Binance and their stupid market makers pouncing on the leverage trades, particularly focusing on the hyperliquid and trying to take out hyper, and it didn't work. And everything got flushed. Yes, Dogecoin went down to 9.5 cents briefly. That happened. No doubt that happened. but it wasn't trading down there, right? We were here on Friday, right? October 10th. What was that? 5 weeks ago? 6 weeks ago now? That exactly, Ruben. October killed our pump. Yep, October killed the pump. Because that's when Bitcoin was up at $125,000, $126,000. And we can thank Trump too. Again, I've talked many times about the Trump token when it was launched and what that did to my immediate plans that I had, where I was planning to sell during inauguration weekend, which I told everybody about, right? I told everybody about that. I'm taking profits. And then that stupid Trump token launched on Friday before inauguration weekend. And by Saturday morning, the markets were starting to dump already because all the liquidity was getting sucked into this stupid Trump token. And then we went into the tariffs and all of that. So, do we have an extended cycle? Are we going to follow this business cycle curve and the markets are going to go back up? Right now, the FOMC odds, for the Fed cutting interest rates, it's under 50% now. So that's pretty tough. That's pretty tough to watch. Meanwhile, we have been looking at corrections during a bull cycle. So for you bulls out there, right? For you bulls out there, so far, this has been a 25% correction on Bitcoin. A correction. We've already had a 32% correction and a 33% correction. And at the bottom of each of those, everyone was bearish. Everyone was bearish. Back in April, right? What, 7 months ago? Everybody was bearish. Dogecoin went down to 13 cents. What was I doing? I was buying Dogecoin. I said, guys, this is an opportunity here. And I was buying Dogecoin at 13 cents. When half of crypto Twitter was saying it's over. And particularly for alts, that the top of the cycle actually was December 2024, which could still turn out to be the truth, particularly with Dogecoin. Dogecoin may not get back to 48 cents for a long time. And maybe that was the top for Dogecoin. Very similar to what happened in 2021, where Bitcoin hit 64K, and I think in February, maybe March. And then Dogecoin went on its big run, April, May. Bitcoin went up again October, November to a new all-time high, 69K, right? But Dogecoin didn't go back to 73 cents. It didn't go anywhere near. It went to 35 cents, that second run, which is why I think maybe Dogecoin's true all-time high in 2021 should have been 35 cents. And that whole run up to 73 cents was all Elon hype, like all of that stuff. So there are some who believe we are still in an overall bull, right? Like 34% of you, and this is just a correction. Titan says the bull is still on. This is a correction. It's a manipulated drop down. Are we going to see that CME gap close at 91, whatever that bottom was, right? We'll see. Meanwhile, Merlin says, hey, maybe this is just Wyckoff distribution. Remember the old Wyckoff graphs, right? The Wyckoff graphs. Yeah, the Wyckoff graphs are back. Again, this is all technical analysis, like trading patterns, all of that stuff. And you believe, if you believe in these kinds of things, it looks like the Wyckoff distribution is almost complete, which means what? We turn around and we do it again, which means prices are going to go back up. Not at the end of a 4-year cycle. Kind of interesting. Now, you could turn it around and you could say, yes, early October, Bitcoin hit 126,000, and that was the peak of this cycle, and we are now in a bear market. And sure, it certainly doesn't look good. 25% correction, not good. But crypto has done this before. And here we are down at the bottom of a correction, possibly, or it's the beginning of a bear market, and we've been in it for a month now. We don't know. I've told you what my confirmations are that I need to see before KrissPax will say, yeah, it's bear market. I need confirmation. Ash Crypto says, look, extreme fear. Right now, the fear and greed index is in extreme fear. The last time we were in extreme fear on Bitcoin was November 2022, right after the FTX crash. November 2022. What was I doing in November of 2022? I was selling my old house and I was starting to load up on crypto in extreme fear. That was the bottom of the last bear market. Well, guess what, my friends? We are now in extreme fear again. The people who look at the fear and greed index, who see us in extreme fear, are saying, we're not at the beginning of a bear market with the fear and greed index already in extreme fear. That happens at the bottom of a bear market. So did we just have a little mini bear market and we're at the bottom? The whole thing is so screwed up that we're going to follow quantitative easing in the business cycle in 2026 and go back up? Kind of interesting. What else is coming? Well, hey, we've got ETFs. We've got ETF launches. We've got a big one with XRP. And we also have the Dogecoin ETFs, which could actually launch next week. They're already registered on the DTCC. All they got to do is flip the switch now. And that could be this coming week. Now, where's the money going to come from to start buying all those ETFs? Well, do you know what is almost at an all-time high? What I saw was tether dominance. That's right, tether dominance. Do you know why? Because a lot of you all, or a whole group of whales, sold their coins and they're sitting on tether. They're sitting on mountains and mountains of tether. So mountains of tether could mean that is money waiting to deploy back into crypto. Interesting. Merlin says, look, after a brutal breakdown, Bitcoin is actually flashing some bullish signals. Yes, bullish divergence. Higher low on the RSI. Higher low on the RSI. Bitcoin's price has dropped down lower than it was back in early November, but the RSI didn't drop as low. That is called bullish divergence. We've seen that before. Looks like we got it again. That can also happen in a bear market, though, so we will watch that. And it could actually be faking us out. But I get it. We're in extreme fear. We're in extreme fear. The sentiment is as bad as I've seen it in crypto in a long time. I don't even think it was as bad in 2022 after getting pummeled by the Luna crash and Voyager and Celsius and BlockFi and finally FTX. Because those were all very specific, like black swans. This cycle, we haven't had anything like that. Yeah, I mean, we can point to Binance and the big, crypto crash of October 10th. Maybe that was the black swan, and we're still seeing the repercussions of that. But that came at a time when we were expecting a total bull cycle euphoria to happen. So the whole cycle thing just could be all effed up, right? All right. So what does this mean for Dogecoin? We've got the memes, right? The old Dogecoin is down, and who the F starts a conversation like that? I just sat down, right? Dogecoin's down. So yeah, that's all we can do is make memes. The market is totally out of our control. So, and then Lark says, again, I wonder if he's thinking about me. And here he is, like in depression. If these coins don't bounce, I'm so effed. No, honey, he's not thinking of you. Like many of us, our portfolios are effed. I get it. This cycle is not like others. Who would have thought that the possible high for Dogecoin, this cycle, was almost a year ago? But that's what we have. So Charles says, if the ETF doesn't get Doge to at least 20 cents, I'm out. So you have a plan. That's good, Charles. You've made a plan for yourself. You've got a signal for yourself on what's going to happen. I'm not convinced yet. Again, but I'm not convinced we're still in a bull cycle either. I'm meh. I'm totally meh. Sideways, chop, all of that. That's where I am. You can hear the pinger going off. And do you know what? These are new shorts coming in. We just had a $233,000 short that just got taken out on this little green candle we're doing now. Because the degen gamblers are still there doing leverage shorts and longs that the market makers are picking away at. And maybe this drop here into the 93s took out a bunch of leverage. And in fact, we've had $162 million on Bitcoin alone over the past 24 hours, a total of almost $500 million in the whole crypto market the past day. And this is on top of all of the other huge leverage liquidations that we've had and we've been looking at for the past month and a half. The degen gamblers keep gambling on crypto, and the market makers and the exchanges keep taking them out. So that's what's going on, my friends. How are we feeling? I refuse to be negative in the crypto world. I feel and believe staying positive is good for the health. You certainly can't let it affect your health. It is what it is. And I know you've got your money wrapped into it, but again, it's crypto. You bought into crypto, right? So good times, bad times with crypto all the time. Very volatile, still risky, right? And you made the decision to purchase crypto at whatever price it was. We have the weekly close in 3 hours and 30 minutes. And guess what? The weekly close is going to be below the 50-week moving average, which is going to freak out a bunch of people. Me, I don't believe in the weekly averages. As I told you, it's the CME gap that I'm looking at for confirmation of a bear cycle, not the 50-week moving average. Others think that 50-week moving average is like a God signal, right? But I'm not there. You can't be wrecked if you bought the bottom. Sunshine, very true. And that reminds me of another thing. Because 2 years ago, when Bitcoin was down at 6 cents, what was I doing? I was saying, buy. This is a gift right here, gift. It's a gift, my friends. Well, that was actually 1 year ago, a little over 1 year ago. That was the gift. 2 years ago, it was even lower. It was down here, 6 cents. And then just a little over 1 year ago, early September, we had 9-cent Doge. That was the gift. After Doge had already come up to like 22 cents, it came back down to 6 cents or 9 cents. And I was like, guys, this is a gift, 9-cent Doge. And what did it do like a month and a half later? It rocketed up into the 40s. Dogecoin trades up on big pumps. I'm just waiting for that next one. Yeah, it was fun to watch these other penny at a time, right? Up, 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 up. That was fun. We're still looking for the big God candles, which can still come. Still can come. I got my magnet still sitting out here. But it's bearish now, no doubt. Bearish, but we're still in the red box. We did not drop below the red box. And we were at this same price, in fact, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, we were at the same price. We could look at this and we could say, you know what? This is just a double bottom. It could be just a double bottom, right? There it is. But 2 weeks ago, we weren't hearing as much about a bear market as we are now. And it could just be a double bottom, and from here we move up. Classic trading signal, right? All the news, ETFs, rate cuts, but yet nothing pumps. Rate cuts aren't for another month. ETFs, not here yet. So you can't pump until the thing actually happens, right? China and US trade deal officially done by Thanksgiving. This whole tariff thing, I am just so over it. I really am. Yeah, Clean Core bought 710 million Doge, and what happened to their stock price? It tanked. I'm kind of thinking maybe the whole treasury idea, not good. Everyone's looking at MicroStrategy and key Bitcoin targets of when they might get liquidated. And of course, Michael Saylor is, you can't liquidate MicroStrategy. And we're not trading with leverage. We buy and we hold. Is a dollar Doge impossible? Not impossible. Unlikely. Yes, as I've been saying. Unlikely. Sunshine's buying. Wildman, money is just money as long as you don't think you need your Doge money soon. It's better than a savings account. Any extra money I get is going into Doge while it's low. And I'll buy even more. So there's somebody with conviction about Dogecoin. True. Hey, Charlotte, how you doing? If you freak out when the price goes down, why are you even trading? And I say this all the time, especially with crypto. Crypto's risky. And if you can't handle it, you shouldn't be here. You just shouldn't be here. And don't put money into the crypto market that you need to pay your bills. Don't use your rent money. Don't use your electricity money, right? This is money on the side. You should be investing into this. Clean Core has not finished buying. I think they're more concerned about their tanking stock price, which I called out last week. And I did get a response from Andrew DeFrancesco saying, we're still building, right? That's what he said, but that's not helping the stock price. Is the money flowing from cryptos into Zcash? Yeah, I think there's a lot of people who have sold other cryptos and they've bought Zcash. Of course, they're buying Zcash at a high price. They're chasing, in other words, right? They're chasing Zcash up here at $680. They're chasing it. This is what I was like figuring would happen. I thought Zcash was actually going to continue kind of going down a little bit here. This was last week. But instead, we got more buying into Zcash, pumping it back up to $700. So yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, Rob, good for me. Not everyone had money at the time. I get it. But then, Rob, as I've said, if you've been buying Doge in the past year, you're buying at the end of a bull cycle. So to have 5x or 10x expectations buying Doge at the end of a bull cycle is not realistic. It's just not. So that's what I'm saying is 2 years ago, you're buying near the bottom of the bear market, and then you do have 5x, 10x, right? But not in the last year of a 4-year cycle. And I've been very consistent about that. Now, of course, there's questioning, are we really still in 4-year cycles? But at the time, that's what I was saying. One thing I am sure, Manel says, I'm not selling and I'm learning a lot with mistakes. That's how I was in 2021. I round-tripped my whole Doge portfolio. Totally round-tripped it. Eventually selling it like last November, a year ago. So that 2-cent Doge that I bought, that I round-tripped all the way up to 73 cents, all the way back down to 5 cents, and I finally sold for 42 cents. Dogecoin that I bought at 2 cents. So if we got to round trip it again, we round trip it again. We don't know what's going to happen. Matthew says, I still believe it's not over. Once JPOW is out in May, we should expect huge rate cuts. Trump doesn't want to lose face. That is true. And he wants to keep stock prices up as well going into the fall of 2026 when the congressional midterm elections happen. Trump does not want a bear market for those midterms. Miguel, if we get a huge pump, this will be the times we'll talk about for a long time. What did I make my video about yesterday? It was all about X money. And I know, oh, Kriss talking about Elon Musk again. He's a bootlicker. I just put it out there as a reality, right? X money is going to launch soon. And we have seen in the past how Dogecoin responds to big events like that, even if it doesn't necessarily exactly include Dogecoin. We saw it in October 2022, bottom of the bear market. Just about. We hadn't had the FTX bankruptcy crash yet, but it was like a few weeks before that. And Dogecoin doubled in price. It just doubled in price. Just because Elon bought Twitter. It had nothing to do with Dogecoin, right? Dogecoin wasn't involved at all, but Dogecoin doubled in price. Do you think when X money launches, Dogecoin's not going to go up? You really believe that? Hey, Cumro, you've been here since my original channel. You know how Dogecoin trades. Exactly. William, I'm not ready to buy. The bonk thing was bad. I agree. Would love a crypto hug, Charlotte. Group hug. Yeah. Are you voting on what you want to hear or what you actually believe in the poll? Yep, Con, we know. You're very bearish on Dogecoin. The Canary XRP ETF launches on Monday. Doge is coming. My bet is the ETF is a sell the news event. Doesn't seem like there would be much interest. Yeah, you would think like launching. Well, I mean, it's the tail end of a bull cycle if you're still looking at this as a 4-year cycle. So launching something at the end of a bull cycle is not good timing. Would have been better to launch 2 years ago, right? But we still had Gary Gensler and all that other crap going on. No, that 74K, Manel, is not a liquidation price for strategy. What it is it's break-even price. In other words, they hold however many Bitcoins, right? Tons of Bitcoins. And the average purchase price of all that Bitcoin is something like 74K. So it means if Bitcoin's price goes below 74K, MicroStrategy will be in the red on their Bitcoin holdings. It doesn't liquidate them. They don't have to sell. The stock may not do well when that happens. I wouldn't be holding MicroStrategy stock. Wrong. Con, you're going long on Link when Bitcoin drops to 91. On Link, really? Bullish on Link, 13 bucks. 13 bucks on Link. Here's its purple box is right up here. Get this right. Yeah. Could be a buying opportunity if you believe in Link. Now, Link is pretty, a slow and steady gains in Link. You're not going to like make it all back in Link right away. Do I still have my Bitcoin at 125? I do. That was $10 worth of Bitcoin that I bought at 125K. I still have it. Manel says Link is a good choice. Javier's going to put some Christmas money in the markets. Ooh. I don't know what's going to happen between here and Christmas, but right now, the way the market is going, of course, we could have X money launch in December and Doge could double in price. All of a sudden, Doge is 30 cents. That could happen. There's going to be a lot of people taking profits, which is why I don't think Doge is going to go to $1, because there's going to be a lot of selling if Doge starts moving like that. So you're like, Zcash has utility, Doge has no utility, so Doge doesn't do well. That's easy to say now, but a month and a half ago, nobody was talking about Zcash. Zcash was dead, right? Now that Zcash has pumped, everyone looks back and says, oh, of course, Zcash has utility. Nobody was talking about Zcash in September. Nobody. Nobody could have predicted this. Oh, somebody probably come out of the woodwork and say, I did. But again, I do my predictions, my monthly predictions as edutainment, right? I don't know what's going to happen in the future. And I always say that. I look at the news, possible upcoming news. I look at the market structure. I call it a prediction. It's not really. But at least if I say the word prediction in my YouTube titles, I get a few more clicks and a few more views. I'll take it. Feeling better, Nick? Glad to see you back. Yeah, I know the bonk thing was bad, but you know what? Bonk is a meme, right? Very volatile. Pengu is down, Pepe's down, so it's not just bonk, William. It's not just bonk. But you can't determine that we're in a bear market because of a meme coin. Demo is buying, just bought some Pepe. King Lunatic got in on the October 10th crash and waiting for the market to turn around, which it could. Hopefully we see 35 cents, Joseph. Again, X money could do that. The launch of X money could do that for Doge, and it could double in price. Again, we've seen that happen. Just look at end of October 2022. Was this scary here? Yeah. 15.4 hitting the bottom of my red box. That was pretty scary. Freaked a lot of people out. Well, here we are an hour later, 2 hours later, recovering some. Bitcoin still looks kind of iffy on Bitcoin. Doge is recovering a little better. Again, Khan, as I've said, Trump is not going to have the US go into a recession. He's not going to do it. He's going to keep energy prices artificially low, and he's going to do whatever he can to help the farmers with food items to keep keep the prices low so that the buying continues and there's no recession. Dogecoin is different than Bonk, yes. But if you look at Bonk, Pepe, Pengu, they've all kind of done the same thing. They tanked a lot harder than Doge did. I know, I've got Bonk and I've got Pengu. I will, right now, my plan is to keep doing live streams. They may slow down. I'm not going to be live streaming every day. I'm only doing 6 days now, just because I'm doing other stuff on Saturdays. I got Doge about a year prior to it heading to a penny, still waiting. So you've round tripped it as well. Something tells me when we least expect something's big's going to happen. That's what Dogecoin does. This is the time you buy. There's our hug from Fred. Thank you. When everybody's complaining, this is the time to buy. Your vote was what you wanted. I hope that wasn't a bear. Hey, Wildman. I'm the only person who thinks once the courts either decide Trump tariffs are legal or illegal, in which the tariff money would go back to the big corporations, that could be a catalyst. Yes, we did talk about that last week when that was big in the news. And I still don't get why everyone thinks that's going to be really bullish for the markets. I mean, money goes back to the countries that got taxed. I don't see how that's bullish for the market still. Correct, Con. The overall market structure is still negative despite those ETFs launching. Yes. Yes, and if you're looking at charts from 3, 4, 5 years ago, it's not the same. It never is. Raiden, how you doing? Came in on the top, kept DCAing down, not selling till the next bull. And smiling. I like that. Cheers. This is just Sprite. It's not a drink. I just keep sitting here twiddling my Doge. Well, Turbo, yep, that's about all you can do, right? Just twiddling my Doge. Elon says X money is coming soon. If anybody didn't see my video from yesterday, I dove deep into the whole X money Elon thing. I made that a video yesterday, and it's gotten quite a few views here. X money is coming. So check that out if you want to learn more about X money and what the latest is. I covered that yesterday. Getting a good response on this video. It's the most views I've had in a long time on a video, so I'll take it. I'll take it. Yep, you like Link too, Williams? Slow growing, yep. It did. It had a couple pumps last year. I sold my Link back in January. when I was mass selling most of my alts. But I got a good profit on Link. As Dogecoin goes down, Aesthetic says, I'm going to keep accumulating and sell when Elon Musk starts talking more about Dogecoin. After all the hints. Yes, and I also covered the hints in my email or my video yesterday as well. Something brewing with Eric saying good time to buy ETH. Tommy Lee says Rocket Q4. Yeah. I'm not expecting the tax breaks, William. I'm not expecting it. It'd be nice. Not expecting it. When will you consider selling your Doge? If X Money launches and Doge is over 30 cents, I'll probably be taking some profits. I'm not going to sell all my Dogecoin though. Good morning, Anthony. How are you? Pepe, a good buy at 4.6. Yeah, I bought mine at 6 and I thought that was a good buy. And then it went into the 5s. And now it's at 4.8. But yeah, it did come down into the 4.6s right there. And that was about 4 hours ago. The pinger continues near. Who's leverage trading near? Odd, but okay. Bitcoin dominance is down at 59.5. It's down in the lower part of the purple box now, is where Bitcoin dominance is. So I'm checking that as well. But it did go up a bit earlier today because of the alts getting hit pretty hard this morning. You bought some H-bar. H-bar is not doing well. It's in the 14s. But I mean, if it's a bear market, it's just going to keep going down for all of the bears in the house. Bonk, good place to buy. Again, Manel, same thing, right? It's a lot lower price than it is when I bought it, but it's even lower than when William sold his. Louis thinks we're in an accumulation phase again. Well, that would be that whole Wyckoff thing, right? Which one was the Wyckoff? This one right here. So we would be starting a new accumulation phase right now, according to this Wyckoff. Is this a thing? Some people swear by it. So we are now in accumulation again. Interesting thought. Again, if you want to see more about this in detail, I covered it in the first 20 minutes of the live stream, along with all my other bits of news. The crypto fear and greed index, yeah, I covered that earlier as well. There's one of these. There it is, extreme fear. Extreme fear, my friends. With a price of Bitcoin at 95K or 94, whatever it is, right? Extreme fear, which we have not seen since November of 2022, when the price of Bitcoin was 16,000. Does that signal a bottom of a market? Some people believe that. This is a bottom. Could be. Anthony, you need to watch the first 10 minutes, okay? And you'll see what I say about whether the bear market is upon us, okay? Yeah, a little down on H-bar. As I saw. H-bar dipped lower. HBAR was doing so well a month ago, and then it just gave it all up. It's now down below its purple box. The only thing that's up is my blood pressure. Can't do that. Can't be all worried about it, Christian. It is what it is. Go take a walk. Lower your stress level. Not good for blood pressure. I know because I have hypertension. We'll have the first weekly close below the 50-week EMA today. Yep. There's a lot of people who aren't even waiting for the second one, Manel. They're already calling it. Bear market. Charlie can't deal with no live streams. Right. So I will keep them going at some pace. But we'll keep making videos. We'll keep making videos. The tariffs will just continue, Shafia. The tariffs will just continue to upset the markets. That's all I'm talking about. Tariff up, tariff down, tariff on, tariff off. It's that uncertainty that affects the markets. Did prices go up? Yeah, prices went up. Not as bad as people thought they would, though. And the Fed admitted that. Back in September, they were like, yeah, the prices did not go up like the Fed thought they would because of the tariffs. And so they lowered interest rates in September. Thank you, Demo. Meggle is looking like a good buy. Yep, I got my Meggle. I'm back in the Meggle game. Got 3,000 shares of Meggle. I'm ready to go. Waiting for the big next pump. What do you mean you can't predict the future? McDonald's is always hiring. Yes, Chadwick. Extreme fear, blood in the streets. That's when you buy and accumulate, right? Ben Cowan did not nail the cycle, Con. He changed the rules all along the way. He was right many times, but he changed the rules along the way. As Chadwick says, Ben Cowan wrong. Well, he wasn't wrong. He didn't nail the cycle like Con is saying. Davin gifted a membership. Hey, Davin. How you doing? Chaos Boy. Hey, Chaos. You're a member of the channel. Awesome. Thank you, Davin, for the generosity there. Meggle is $1.29. Yep. I got mine at $1.30. I'm good. Hey, Sunshine. Quantitative tightening and easing big enough thing to make a morning video about? No. It's something to mention along the way as part of a video or part of a live stream, but not its own thing. Plus, it doesn't specifically like pump the crypto market. It's a slow thing. Dennis, thank you for the super chat. Crazy to see Pepe down 80%. There are some who say that 80% mark is typically the bottom of a pullback from an all-time high. So if that was our high to now, 83% from last December, 83%. So some would say, well, that's the bottom of the bear market then. That's the bottom of the bear market. And I thought buying at 6 was a steal. It had dropped below the purple box. And I was like, yeah, I got to buy this. And I bought it at this in this dip right here at 6. Was it the first dip or the second dip? I don't remember. I'll have to look. And so I'm down on that Pepe that I bought at 6. About 20%. I get it though. Past 3 hours, we're up a little on Doge. The I told you so doesn't work here, Simon. Doesn't really work here. The biggest thing he got right is telling us not to buy alts and stick with BTC unless you were in the right alts, like ZAC, right? Zcash, right? Because Zcash outperformed Bitcoin by a mile. You can be 90% right and exit wrong. True. And also, the thing about Ben Cowen was, if you remember, the entirety of 2023, when Bitcoin was going up, he was in all cash. Remember that? You remember that? He was in cash. I remember that. A lot of people were calling him out on it too, as Bitcoin kept going up. And he wasn't committing to actually buying the Bitcoin in the market. So I would say he was actually wrong throughout 2023 because he was in cash. I was in the market. Most everything a great buy right now, although many people think prices are still going to go lower. So most are waiting. There's not a lot of buying going on right now. If there was a lot of buying going on, we'd see the markets pumping. We'd see V-shaped recoveries. We're not seeing any V-shaped recoveries. This is all just cascading lower and lower, which is the sign of a bear market. So this kind of cascading, not good. We are so effed. I wonder if he's thinking about me. These coins don't bounce. I'm so effed. Right there, right? Right there. You like the word degen. You are a degen. Raiden bought your Pepe at 14.5 when that was a good buying opportunity. How low can we go? All right, let's look at it. Let's use 80%, right? Let's use 80%. Has Dogecoin gone down 80% yet? From the high, right? 48 cents. It's down 67. No, that's not good. Yes, agreed. But nobody's buying at 48 cents. Again, you shouldn't be buying at 48 cents. You should not be down 67%. Where's 80%? 80%? Oh man, look at that. It's 9.5 cents. Do you believe that? Where have you heard 9.5 cents before? Ping. Where have you heard 9.5 cents before? October 10th. 9.5 cents right there. That's the 80% mark from the all-time high. Or this cycle's high. So, how low can we go, Mats? My answer, 9.5 cents. October 10th. The flash crash of October 10th. Remember that? That was the day that changed this crypto cycle. Was this day right here. That was this right here. October 10th. Didn't close. That day. October 10th. The market makes me want to look at my phone every 5 minutes. Yeah, it's tough to get around that. I get that. That's wrong, Shafia says. We saw extreme fear in April. I know Ash Crypto is an engagement farmer. I get that. I do copy Ash's or refer to Ash's things. Where is the, do they have a, maybe CoinGlass has one of these, right? Fear and Greed. Crypto Fear and Greed Index. Here we go. Let's see what CoinGlass's was. Yeah, extreme fear. They do show it here in February, actually. February. And then just touched it back here in August 2024. But yeah, February, the tariffs. That big drop we had. That was extreme fear. So yeah, you're right, Shafia. This is actually lower now than it was then, though. So there is that. And we're at a higher price. That was Ash's point, is we're at a higher price now. Aster, I don't know what's going on with Aster, John. It looked like CZ was buying a crap ton of it. But since then, it's kind of gone down a lot. So, hey, Tony, you only lose money if you sell? Hold on. A guy on Reddit said $10 Doge in the next 6 months. Well, there you go, Joseph, right? Because a guy on Reddit said it. Are Bitcoin and ETH able to absorb all the selling? If more Bitcoin and ETH come out of the cupboard, I don't know what that means, out of the cupboard. Everyone knows the market makers are always way ahead on the retail side. Yep. Yeah, I don't know, Manel. I think they're just trying to shake people out before prices go back up. But more long leverage traders keep entering new trades, and so they just keep taking them out. Yeah, Shafia, I know about the tariff thing. I get it. No, as soon as the tariff thing hit at the end of January, that's when I sold most of my altcoins because I knew what that meant. And I told you guys about it. Warbs will have to take over if Kriss stops. Warbs. He's right all the time. Ben Cowan is right all the time. He just changes his mind every day. He as I say, he moves the goalposts, right? He doesn't make like completely changes his mind. He just moves things a little bit, right? The 66%, or I'm sorry, the 70% Bitcoin dominance became 66, and then it hit 66, right? And so he took all the credit for it, even though he had previously called for 70. So there was that. And then when it dropped into the 50s, he said it was going to go back to 66. And then he changed that to be in the 60s. See, I catch this stuff, right? So he changes, he just moves the goalposts. He just moves the goalposts. So, Anthony, you bring up a good point. For Bitcoin, the October 10th flash crash didn't go under 100K. But after the flash crash, it did go below. So, Anthony, we did talk about that. And that was because Binance particularly had liquidity had huge liquidity in the Bitcoin price. So it didn't drop as much as alts did. See, the alts blew through all the liquidity and then they just dropped. That's why Atom went all the way down to like 2 cents, because there was no more liquidity left. So look that up, Anthony, about the liquidity, because that's true. And we talked about that the weekend after October 10th, I got into the details of what happened. And that was, there was no more liquidity. So the prices were in free fall. All right. Are there Mexico protests, Javier? I haven't heard about it. They don't affect crypto. Or, Nino, I can't talk about predictions or projections right now. Again, the first 10 minutes of this live stream, I told you where I am on everything. So go watch that. When the fear is high, it's time to buy. Why not buy more zone? I'm stuck with the zone I have. I'm not buying more. Megal, I know how Megal trades. Zone, I have no clue. I bought it to support the stupid Dogecoin treasury company. And they tanked the price. Oh, Romario, can't go through this again, man. I get it. But if you're feeling that, again, next time, once you finally sell and you're out of crypto, don't come back in. You can't be that emotional about it. Bitcoin's going down again. 93.6. Bitcoin's not done yet, guys. It just dropped lower. We'll see whether Dogecoin comes to 15.4. Again, that is my support line. But yeah, it's a pretty precarious situation right now. Does it get worse before it gets better? Good possibility of that. Yeah, Nick. Exactly. Nino, look at what Nick said. Time to get out of crypto. Yeah, alts generally would see some rally. Again, Dogecoin would just follow the market. Dogecoin really will pump if like X money launches, like a big catalyst specifically for Doge. But just QT ending isn't going to pump the market. The Bears won today. I wasn't even watching football because the Patriots played on Thursday night. So it was like, oh, football today. It was better to be here. Frankie, how are you? Long time no see. Hope you're doing well. So far, does your 1-year price prediction analysis remain the same? So back in January, I had 2 scenarios, right? I had the one scenario with X money and Dogecoin, and I had the other scenario without it. The scenario without it, I'll have to go back and look and see what I predicted. I don't remember. That was 11 months ago. Or 10 and a half months ago. I'll have to go back and look. I don't remember what my second tier was. Because we now know Dogecoin is not going to be on X. Not going to be part of X money when X money launches. So that part of my 2025 price prediction video is not going to happen. But I don't remember what I said for the other one. I'll have to refresh myself. What did I actually say? Right, Nick. It's rough. I was expecting profits by now, but that's crypto. Nothing is guaranteed. Like I say many times, a lot of you guys thought it would be so easy, right? Easy money. I'm just going to buy and make a lot of money. Nope. Doesn't work that way. If everyone is saying buy the dip, buy the fear, expect it to go even lower. Yeah, except everyone isn't saying that. Everyone isn't saying that, Anthony. What do we have? Bears and bulls are pretty close in our poll. Bears and bulls are pretty close. Bears are actually winning. So those people aren't buying. You know? Will the markets rebound? Sure, they always do. It's just a matter of when. 6-7. Thank you for your contribution, Javier, to today's live stream. 6-7. Got it. What do you mean Bitcoin isn't moving? We just showed Bitcoin. Bitcoin's not even moving. It's now down over 25%. Yes, Doge is down a lot harder. Always happens when there's more red candles, right? Doge drops harder, but Doge or Bitcoin is down. Again, Bitcoin has a much larger market cap too. Remember that. So in that same time, Bitcoin has lost more money in its market cap than Dogecoin has. So you can look at it that way too. More money has been lost in the Bitcoin pullback than Dogecoins. Do not go below 15.4 Dogecoin. I am a ladder buying Pepe. Goes to 36, you'll buy more. Goes to 26, you'll buy even more. Brian Griffin, a Family Guy, mentions Dogecoin. I know, right? For me, it's over. Save whatever cash you have. Got it, Anthony. Well, Romaro, you don't know that. You say there is no chance we go up. You have no idea. You don't know. Sargon says, Binance forced the crash. It's their fault. We are in the bear market. Yeah, it's looking like I said at the beginning of this live stream, it's looking like that was our black swan event that totally turned the market. What was that? October 10th. If October 10th was the cause of the deviation of the 4-year cycle, what will it take to return to the 4-year cycle? Maybe there's, again, Matt, maybe that signaled the start of a bear market. The bull market ended the beginning of October, and that means the next peak of next bull market will be in September 2029. So we're in a bear market, and we're going to be in bear market for another year. And then we go to a reset. Late 26 into 27 would be reset in our typical 4-year cycle, which I'm saying now is 3 years, 11 months. 3-year, 11-month cycle. So Byron asks, after X payments, don't we get any more pumps? I don't know. Typically, Doge does not continue to pump. So be ready for it. I will be taking profits. If X money launches and Dogecoin goes to 30 cents, I will be taking profits. I don't know if it's going to go to 50 cents. I don't know if there'll be a second pump. Dogecoin typically doesn't do that. In 2021, it had 2 glorious pumps, one in January and then the April, early May pump. It's the only time it's really done that. Well, maybe 2017, but that was more on the backs of Bitcoin because Bitcoin had a double pump. The MACD on the monthly tells me the future. Well, okay, then short the hell out of the market. Put all of your money on a huge 100x leverage short because you're so sure you can become a millionaire shorting the market. So go do that, Romano, and you won't. Switch. It is wise to sell all if I reach my break-even amount or hang on no matter what. That's your call. That's your call on what your outlook is for the market going forward. For me, the people who initiated the flash crash were smart. That was the advanced party who knew where crypto was headed. Now they're poised to buy everything back at garbage prices. It was the exchange taking out leverage. It wasn't so they could buy back in at lower prices because Binance got totally flushed out of all their liquidity. Now, does that then allow them to buy back at lower prices? Yes, and they probably did that. But it's gone even lower since then. If anybody sells now, they're mad. Hey, low roller, there you are. Yep, I saw Mega Millions was one. Can we stop talking about it now? Oh, wait, Powerball's now up to 5. But thank you for the updates. Appreciate it. Hey, Marchesa, how are you? If it was me, I would sell half. If you go down more, then you decide what to do. Sure. That is true. Hey, Pex Cat's here. Hey, look who's here, guys. He still lives. The Pax Cat. Hi. Hey, buddy. Hi. These guys were wondering where you've been. You haven't made your appearance in a while. October, Moonvember played out perfectly. I predicted October, but I did not predict Moonvember. I was predicting pretty much sideways. Bans Beal. It's called a bear market. That's your opinion. I haven't had confirmation. Go look at the first 10 minutes of this live stream. And I told you the key things I'm looking for before I will call it a bear market. I need confirmation, dude. It's easy to look back on the chart and say, oh, a month ago we entered a bear market. Well, nobody was saying that a month ago. Nobody. Well, a month and a week, right? Before October 10th. Nobody was saying that was the beginning of a bear market. Everybody was predicting Bitcoin to 150, 180, 200. It's all there on X. You can see it. It's all there. October 10th shook everything up. And that's when I said, it looks like we're going to be going sideways, which is when I made my purple boxes. And then we're going to figure out what happens next. Bull market never ends on extreme fear. Well, yeah, but again, where were we in October? Early October. We were in extreme greed. No, we were in greed. We weren't extreme greed, but we were in greed when Bitcoin hit 126. We were in greed. We've gone all the way from greed all the way down to extreme fear in a little over a month. That's pretty big. That's pretty big. If I sell now, I make money. I'm still up. Now, there's a few I'm down on, like Bonk and Pepe. I admit it. But most of my crypto, I'm still in the green from when I bought. When does it start reversing? Switch, that's a great question. When does it start reversing? We need some good news. It's been nothing but bad, 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 bad. If I were preparing to jump up and take out all the leverage shorts, this is what I would do. Use the four-year cycle as news to engage selling. More fear equals less volume. You have a strong conviction that the market is owned by Binance. And that's what I've said. The market makers are in control. I've been saying it for a month. Well, since October 10th, the market makers are still in control. We have not had the great news for a bunch of retail buyers to come in. They're not. They went over to the stock market. They've been buying Nvidia, right? And other stocks. 91K, that's the big target, Con. That's the big target. We're at 93.5 now. So we're at the top of the CME gap. Will we get to 91? Marlon says, I'll never get back into crypto. The CME gap closes at 91.9, I think. Again, let's look at that again. Because I have it here. 91.7. The top is actually 93.4. It hasn't even entered the gap yet. It's 93.4 is the top. 91.7 is the bottom. So we're not even in it yet. We are creating a new CME gap, though. Actually, we're creating a new CME gap. It's a slight one right now. Now I'm not liking that red candle right there. What happens after the CME gap? Jeffrey, that is the question. And that is, as I said at the beginning of this live stream, that's one of the indicators I'm looking for to determine, in my belief, whether we're in a bear market or not. Am I going to get more Pepe? I'm not buying anything right now. DJ and Charlie's going to buy more because that's what DJ and Charlie does. Kriss is not. My grok said that whales are accumulating more than selling. Well, then price should go up, right? The market makers are in control. Our arcade. I think they're shaking weak hands out and then dip DCAing. Great buying opportunities. Litecoin has been holding up. It did drop back under $100 today. It was doing well up above 100, but it did drop below. It's actually down. Actually, Bubble, today, Litecoin is now down 6.5%. Doge is only down 4.5%. Litecoin 6.5%. So not today. Tom Lee says a treasury company is going under right now and selling all their BTC. Well, like MetaPlanet or one of those? Because we already heard Michael Saylor talk about strategy and that they're not liquidating or going under or anything. But it could be one of the smaller ones. I could see that. I'm waiting to sell, take profits when we get a big pump. Yes. I'm not buying right now. No, that is not correct, Gene. Elon does not want to take Doge to the actual moon, right? There's a third-party company, Geometric Energy. Geometric wants to take Dogecoin to the moon. They are using SpaceX as their rocket to get them off Earth into space. That's what the Doge One project is. Elon and SpaceX's only association with that project is a Falcon rocket that gets them off the ground into space. And it's all Geometric and their third-party supplier that takes it from there. I think it was like Astrobotic or something like that. They're the ones. Patience, my Doge bros. Again, we could still have another pump this cycle, Sargon. I think X Money will pump Dogecoin. The Trump tariffs did kill alt season. Yes. Bitcoin recovered and went up to a new all-time high. Most alts did not. Obviously with Dogecoin, right? 48 cents in 2024. After the Trump tariffs, highest it got was 30 cents. It's been said that, Joseph, crypto does the opposite of what everyone is saying, but the problem is not everyone says anything. Look at our poll right now. It's pretty split. Bear, bull, and meh. It's pretty split. So not everyone is not saying one thing or another. Quantitative easing just puts more liquidity in the market, which then allows for the possibility of more buying of crypto. But it's not a direct relationship. Like start quantitative easing, crypto pumps. No, that's not it. Where would I load up on Doge? Like I said, I am in the tail end of this bull cycle, wherever it is, and I'm not buying more right now. I've got taxes to pay, big taxes to pay. The Santa rally's coming. Trump and Elon are preparing great Christmas gifts for us. If not, then see you in 2027. Exactly. What goes up must come down. What goes down will come up, just a matter of when. Exactly. Right. It's all of it, Benjamin. Exactly. The most immediate thing was Binance on October 10th. But we've talked about the tariffs. The economic data has kind of been up and down. Fellas, they're shaking everyone out to close the gap. Again, the gap is officially, oh, it's on the other chart. BTC CME. $91.7, DJ Mad. 91.7 right there. That's the bottom of the gap. I've been talking about this gap almost for 6 months. Now we're there, just about. You've been watching the spreads, Anthony? The spread is just 0.25%. So if Doge is 16 cents, then you can purchase it straight away at 16.25. No. On Coinbase, the spread is much tighter. If you want 16-cent Doge, you can get 16.05. on Coinbase. You pay a fee for that, but that's the spread on Coinbase. Same demo. Marker for first profits from here is 31.33. Yeah. Pepe at 16.18. Yeah, well, Pepe right now is at 4.7. So that's almost a 4x. Might be looking at like at 10. No Doge party. Frowny face. I know, Charlotte, right? I know. Then 2029 it is. I got nothing but time. Yep, that's a shame. We were going to have so much fun. About damn time the Pax Cat came back. Sorry, I'm behind on the chat. I'm trying to, yeah, Pax Cat came. Pax Cat appearing is better than any charts. Everybody loves the Pax Cat. Now Khan is changing his goalposts. 120, 130. I'm green now, but I might round trip it all. And if I do, I do. So what? I'm still in the crypto game. We're still so early in all this crypto stuff. I don't care. I don't care. Can I talk about what Dogecoin has going for it? Matt, I talk about that all the time. I talk about it all the time. I'm trying to catch up in the chat now. I will be covering that again. Joan of Arc had it worse. TP. Well, Con, I'm not drawing my box all the way down to 5 cents. So. Buy Zcash at the top? Sure. Let's all buy Zcash at the top, $700. That's a great idea, Fred. Go chase something that's already pumped. Awesome idea. I'm being sarcastic. Jeffrey, you're in half cash, half stocks. I get it. Crypto's tough right now. Doesn't look great. I get it. But again, most of the crypto I own, I bought back 2 years ago in 2023. And I'm still up more than double on all that crypto. Will it fill the gap, Anthony? Doesn't answer the question. It might not. You don't know. Nobody knows. Hasn't even started filling it yet. Zcash will flip Dogecoin. Interesting. Zcash will flip Dogecoin. Zcash is number 12 now. 10 billion. Dogecoin is 23 billion. So even if Dogecoin stayed at 15.5 cents, Zcash would have to go to like $2,000. You think that's going to happen? Fred, I don't think so. 2,000, it already went up a huge bunch. Articles pointing to whale accumulation. Yeah, but Johnny, you know, on that, they don't know. Again, like I've said, many of those are transfers, not buys. They don't know. SHIB is not doing well. It's down with everything else. Down, down, down. Stair stepping down. Bearish. bearish. Doge targets to sell 100. I'm not going to sell all my Doge. I'm never going to sell all my Doge. You never know when things are going to happen with Doge. Maybe I sell half and keep the other half. Sell 200,000 and keep the other 200,000. Something like that. Hey, buddy. I believe once Dogecoin becomes a common method of payment, it will simply never hover this low again. Well, Austin, I got news for you. It's not going to happen. Dogecoin is not going to be a common method of payment. So you have to let that go. That's not going to happen. Now, will Elon magically do something on the X platform with it? He might, but that would be the only chance it would have of even getting close to anything like a common method of payment. It's an obscure side thing that right, like Johnny says, exactly. Dogecoin will never truly be a method of payment. And Bitcoin won't either. Johnny, no, not Bitcoin either. No crypto will be. It's all going stable coins. Stable coins. The United States doesn't like crypto. They like stable coins, backed by the US dollar. That's what it's all about. Empty socks for Christmas. Eric Trump is worse. Yeah, Eric is not good. It's not good. He's lost so much money on ETH. He's way down because he wasn't buying ETH when I was 2 years ago. So he's way down. Hey, T, we're getting close to the run-up. Good night, Compo. If Doge isn't included in X money or not even mentioned, I don't feel it will rise a lot. Sell the news? No, I disagree. It'll pump. It'll pump. That's my take. Gaps don't mean anything because there are gaps way lower. Yeah, but for this cycle, this is the last gap. On the day of the flash crash, the SPED, right, I know that on the flash crash, but you're talking about now. And right now, there's no volume. No volume. I looked on your YouTube channel. I didn't see any videos, Con. I didn't see any videos. There was nothing to watch. I looked. You'll have to send me a link in X chat. Send me a link in X chat to your video, and I'll take a look. Hey, buddy. We didn't have SafeMoon. We didn't have BitConnect. No, we had 100 SafeMoons or 1,000,000 SafeMoons and 1,000,000 BitConnects because of all those other stupid pump.fun tokens. That's what we had. Good night, Charlotte. What's the current market cap of all crypto? 3 trillion. 3 trillion. Sure thing, Anthony says. Bitcoin filling the gap. Sure thing. All right, we'll see. It's looking weak, no doubt. I get it. It's right near the top of the gap. $3 trillion has to hold on market cap or it gets worse. Yeah, but nobody trades the total market cap. It's just a sum of everything else. She will soon have 10 zeros in it. That could be true. Only one crypto will be used for payment USDT. Yeah, Tether is not a crypto. It's a stable coin. Joey thinks Doge was fun for a while, will never moon again. You don't know that. Exit plan for Doge. Everyone will have their own say. Everybody will have their own exit plan. And for me, it's never an exit plan. I'm never going to sell all my Doge. Stuff is going to happen. Jeans and Pepe for the long haul. Popcat is fun. That's PaxCat's favorite. The Popcat. I'm not going to sell all my crypto, Yeely. You made a video of your palace, Prince? I'll check it out. Getting the Robinhood notifications? Yeah. Those are never good, right? Bitcoin hit a 6-month low. There it is right there. Got it. Same thing. Because remember, I bought $10 of Bitcoin and now I get the Bitcoin notifications. Isn't that right, Kat? Uh-huh. Duber says, right now looks like a great time to buy. I always think this when it's dumping, but never have the guts to buy in. Because it might drop more. Zcash is still down from its all-time highs. 5,000? Wow. I didn't know it was up that high. Exactly, DB. Why didn't all the know-it-alls sell back in July? Why are they still here? Because they're stuck like the rest of us. Stuck. Totally stuck. What happens on November 22nd? People keep talking about this date. What's happening, PaxCat, huh? Ooh, buddy. The cheapest Dogecoin that I still hold right now is 5.7 cents. I bought it 5.7. I can tell you the exact date too, because I have a spreadsheet that shows it. My spreadsheet is right here. Sorry, 5.8 cents. On October 9th, 2023, I bought 14,000 Dogecoin at 5.8 cents. Total of $835. Right there. I still have that. 5.8. Enjoy the discounts. Don't panic. It's a bear market. If the US tips into a recession, which I've already told you isn't going to happen under Trump's watch. You say Trump isn't going to be able to stop it, but Doge is embedded in Tesla vehicle codes. We've been looking at that for years. Elon has had plenty of opportunity, like the launch of the cyber cab, right? The Tesla cab, robo cab. He could have had Dogecoin in that. Doesn't yet. The Tesla diner, right? When it opened, he was talking about, charging cars with Doge, buying food with Doge. Nope, not there. Bitcoin dominance, we looked at that earlier. The bottom of the purple box. So, yep. Under 59.5. Stuck. Exactly, sunshine. Yeely, go watch the first 10 minutes of the live stream. And you will hear my opinion in detail about whether I think we're in a bear market. I see it going up with some positive news, Eric. We need positive news. We need something good. Bitcoin gave back all of its 2025 gains. That's correct. Buying Bitcoin today is just like buying back on January 1st. Joseph thinks 20 to 30 cents before Christmas. What if we've been in a bear market for a long time? Well, except Bitcoin hit an all-time high on October 6th. So the bear market would have begun then. You can't have Bitcoin hitting a brand new all-time high in the middle of a bear market. So now, could we have been bear market in alts? Yes. Dogecoin specifically? Yes. We'll see if the stock market goes down big. We'll see, Con. Not guaranteed. ICP getting hammered? That's not a surprise because it was like, I mean, tons of people were buying it. And I was just like, I'm not touching that. Wow. Runs up and then runs all the way back down. Still has a ways to drop. ICP. Hey, DB, I asked if we needed to give Trump more time. You said, no, I agree with that. But do we need to give Elon more time? That's tougher to answer. Agreed. Elon's had plenty of time to do other things with Dogecoin, and he hasn't. We have not, we're at the top end of the gap now at Bitcoin at 93.4, but we haven't closed it. 91.7. We'll close it. 91.7. Yep, the future is stable coins, not only for bank transfers, but for actually buying too. It's going to be stable coins, all backed by the US dollar. Ron, it's all your fault, but for buying the last 3 days. It's all my fault. Arlen says, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy it 5 cents. We'll see. Right now, I've already identified the bottom of the bear market is 9.5. The future is Solana. Good luck with that. Solana, a project that has worse inflation in the number of tokens than Dogecoin, but nobody points that out except me. Elon hasn't done it. If consensus is we need to close the gap, I believe we don't. Yeah, T, I've been using that line since Bitcoin dropped below 100K. I was like, well, that doesn't mean it closes the gap. And then it goes to 96, closes one higher gap. And I say, that doesn't mean it closes the gap. And now here we are at 93. And I'm just like, ooh, it's not looking good. Con, in your opinion, you think Dogecoin is going much lower. That doesn't mean it does. In your opinion, in your humble opinion, right? Right, Pax Cap? Con has an opinion. He just doesn't know the future for sure, right? Kitty. Elon could have integrated Dogecoin to the diner, like he said, but nothing. I know. And I'm sure when the diner opened, he saw all of us Dogecoin fans asking, where's Doge? Where's Doge? Where's Doge? And he did nothing. So, yeah. Solana's going to go back down to less than 9? Really? Back to where it was in 2022? That's a huge drop. Sol-based coins on Robinhood are down 80 to 90% from a year's high. Once they hit 95% down, I'm in. Buy when you can, right? Sunshine, we just call him Pax Cat now. It's kind of taken over. Stuff like Solana and Tron are more resilient than Doge. Yep, that's true. Except 2022, Solana took a huge hit. Probably more than Dogecoin. So, but Solana went on a big run 2 years ago because of all that pump.fun craziness. I covered that. There's Fred and his Zcash thing. You're going to be buying Zcash over $700. You're buying the top, dude. Buy in the top. Just go on to X and look up Tesla Diner, Hollywood, California. And you'll see all about it. Tesla Diner, Hollywood, California. XRP down to 10 cents. Wow, Con, you are a huge bull or bear. Huge bear. I thought you were thinking the market was going to turn around and go up. That wasn't too long ago. My friend, that wasn't too long ago. I remember that. If XRP does that, I'm buying XRP. Yes, I call him Pax Cat a lot. I do that, Adam. Because everyone knows he's a star on my live streams. Yeah, I don't think so either, Nick, but Con or others think huge drop. I get it, Con. And so now you're going to say, oh, there wasn't a recession, so it didn't go down as much. Always have conditions, right? That you can back out, right? Well, I said, if only there's a recession. Hey, I do the same thing. I get it. Elon should serve a nothing burger on his menu. Rated, I like that. Can I have a nothing burger, please? To go. Have a nothing burger. And I'll sit in my Tesla for an hour, eating a nothing burger, waiting for my car to charge. I'm not buying an electric car. No, thank you. No, thank you. But that is good. Nothing burger. In my opinion, pack it up, boys. Pack it up. No, I don't think Trump's going to let us hit a recession, as I've said multiple times over the past 2 years. Hey, Jack, keep in mind, crypto always does what you don't think it will do. It'll wait for you to sell and then give you a God candle. Trump can't stop a recession. He's doing it. Well, I'm saying it, and I've been saying it, Con. Drill, baby, drill. Remember that? Drill, baby, drill. Why does he want to drill, baby, drill? To keep gas prices down. If you keep gas prices down, guess what? The trickle effect goes to trucking, transportation. It keeps those costs down, right? Keep all those costs down. Economy keeps booming. People keep buying stuff, right? It's a diner. Not a fancy diner, but it's a diner. It's kind of nice. But yeah, you go there and you charge your Tesla car and you order food, and while your car's charging, that was the whole premise of it. Seems to be very popular. He's building more. Mr. Mars, how are you? Good to see you as well. If alts start outperforming Bitcoin, where do you see Doge going? If Bitcoin doubles in price, right, and goes to $180,000, Doge will triple in price. At least. Because Dogecoin outperforms Bitcoin in a green market. But it gets killed in the red markets. And we see that again and again and again. It's a weak job market, no doubt, Khan. But he's playing with other things. The job market doesn't determine whether we're in a recession. Not by itself. I'm expecting everyone to sell, and then a green candle so big that it looks like a straight line behind. Bitcoin dominance is at 59.5. It's kind of going sideways now, but it's drifting lower. When Trump picks the next Fed chair, crypto might start to reverse. We'll see how that plays out. But again, that's not till May 2026. The burger is tasty. The apple pie is scrumptious. 9 out of 10 from Tiny Lens at the Tesla Diner. All while charging your electric car. It's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. And you get a bunch of people all hanging out in a place that have one big thing in common. You own a Tesla. Ron, it's the hype. It's all about the hype. That's how Dogecoin trades. It's the hype that one day Dogecoin might be integrated into X payments. Dogecoin pumps. That's all. That's my theory. Is it going to happen 100%? Nothing is going to happen 100%. The midterms will say a lot. And right now, the midterms could go left, could go Democrat. Right, exactly, Mike. The expectation that Doge will be used on it eventually, and Dogecoin pumps. If Trump loses control of Congress, then rev the engines. Really? Usually it's just the opposite, because then we'll be at a standstill. Crypto in Trump's prior midterm was bear market. Stocks have just kept going up. We need the rate cut. Right now, it's like a 50-50 shot. So, yeah, we got a Tesla Diner review, 9 out of 10. It would have been 10 out of 10 if they accepted Dogecoin, right? Rodrigo, still holding your bag? We're about to have a cat. There he comes. The cat moving across. There he is. What you doing up there, cat? What is causing Bitcoin to fall? Well, there are some who will say, oh, it's only to close the CME gap. There'll be others that say, crypto's already in a bear market. People are selling because they think it's going to go lower. It's as simple as that. The housing market is a little iffy across the country, Javier. There are many pockets. They're doing really well still. Boston is one of them. Depends on it depends on what's going on in those local economies. But Florida's not doing as well. Las Vegas is not doing well, from what I see. So it's mixed. Did not make a morning video. I made my X money video yesterday and I just let that run. That's still getting good views on my X money video. There wasn't really anything new this morning that I saw that was worthy of making a video on. But I'll have one tomorrow morning. Powell said a year ago. Well, again, it's not him, right? It's the Fed, right? And there's a board on the Fed. So it's not Powell. Powell doesn't make the decision. The Board of Governors makes the decision, right? And there's 12 of them that vote. Because the rate cut probability went down to 50%. That's why you think crypto is falling. I think it's more the negative sentiment and bear market vibes. People are selling because they think it's going lower because of bear market. Warren Buffett is always negative on BTC. Nobody listens to Warren Buffett when it comes to Bitcoin anymore. He would have made billions of dollars more if he had invested in Bitcoin, and he didn't. You guys watch my morning videos and you just didn't see one this morning. Got it. I'm happy they're finally starting to take making things affordable seriously. Well, affordable is in the eye of the beholder, right? Pax cat like a ninja. I know. What's he doing? What's he doing now? Causing trouble. Am I going for the certified banger rank? No. The only certified banger videos I've ever had are when Dogecoin is pumping all to hell. Without it, nobody cares. Except you guys, of course, and I appreciate you guys for watching my videos. But yeah, you don't get the big numbers unless Dogecoin's pumping. On my channel, that's how it works. It's all tied to the price of Doge. If Doge starts pumping, my sub count will go up, my views will go up. But if Dogecoin is doing this today, yeah. Yeah, we are with Bitcoin. We are in the gap. We're now officially in the gap. Again, 91.7 is the bottom of the gap. 91.7, my friends. It's good to know the billionaires are doing well in the market. The billionaires are mostly in stocks, and the stocks have been doing well. No Pax Cat coin. No, Mertz. Hate when they look at the market as well. It's healthy out there, hitting all-time highs. CME gaps don't fill during the weekend, except maybe for today. We'll see. Again, there's no thing like never, right? Especially for this cycle. This cycle's been so weird, so different. Changing the rules, maybe. But again, this whole theory of this 3-year, 11-month Bitcoin cycle kind of makes sense. And how alts, particularly Dogecoin, have a pump way before that. And then when Bitcoin hits its new all-time high, top of the market, which we think was October 6th, Bitcoin hit 126,200. Dogecoin wasn't anywhere near the previous pump, which was 48 cents. So there is a mirror philosophy of that between the 21 and the 25 crypto cycle years. So yeah, that's a thing. And the highest Dogecoin probably is 30 cents now, because it hit 48 cents previous, and it's not going to go back up there. Just like last cycle, Dogecoin went to 73 cents in May, but in October it didn't, or November it didn't go up to its previous all-time high like Bitcoin did. How many percent does Bitcoin fall in a real bear market? Aha. That we can look at. I need to do monthly. So let's look at this one. The end of 2017 to the bottom of the bear market, 84%. In 2018, 84% from the high. From the 2021 high to the end of 2022 and the low of 15.6, that was 77%. 77%. So let's say it's average of 80. So average of 80% from the Bitcoin high would be $25K. $25,000 Bitcoin. If that was our all-time high on October 6th. An 80% drop would be $25,000 Bitcoin. Who's buying Bitcoin at 25K? Raise your hands. Raise your hands. How many of you are buying Bitcoin at 25K? I raise my hand. And that's funny because you know what? The Bitcoin that I hold, look at this. I was buying at 25K. September of 2023, Bitcoin was at 25K. And I was buying Bitcoin. 25K right there. I thought we were starting to talk about an extended cycle into Q1. Well, Joseph, that is still a possibility. This is not the extended cycle chart. It's this one right here. This is the business cycle. So this is the business cycle that drives Bitcoin, not the 4-year cycle. And Raoul Pal is all on top of this, that it's the ISM PMI chart, which is on the upswing on its sine curve into 2026. So this is the extended cycle theory Raoul Pal is still talking about. That's still a thing. That's still a possibility. Like I said, I am not completely bear market, but I'm not completely bull market either. I need to see indicators hit for me, and they haven't hit yet. But some of you guys are already absolutely sure something's going to happen. And I'm like, I'm not completely sure. Oh yeah, Bitcoin dominance. Sorry, Abe. I did see you look at that. Bitcoin dominance. So Bitcoin dominance is in the purple box, right below 60%. It's like 59.5, still in the purple box. So it's going sideways, which it's been doing for over a month. Just not making a decision either way. sideways in its own purple box. Bitcoin dominance. If we're in a bear market and prices are dropping, Bitcoin dominance will go up. Bitcoin in the 90s, yet oversold on the RSI. Yep. Bullish divergence. We talked about that too earlier. Bullish divergence. Price is lower, but RSI is actually higher. Now let's check back and see how much it rises each time. Okay. It's good to check that out. It is good to check that out. Let's go back to the monthly chart. We can see it all. And let's go back. Go back in time, my friends. So let's start with the 2018 bottom, right? 2018 bottom, $3,200. $3,200 for a Bitcoin. Up to an all-time high, 2,000% to 2021. 2,000%. 3,000 to 69,000. 2,000%. All right. So this cycle from 15.6 to 126.2, 725%. So it was less than half. Less than half. So if we go to 25K, if we have a full 25K drop, how much would that same 700% get us? Next cycle, about 200K. It'd be 200K. If it drops to 25,000 and then goes up 700%, 200K. People are raising their hands, buying Bitcoin. I didn't tell anyone to buy Doge at 50 cents, fear of Paul. And in fact, I actually couldn't because Dogecoin didn't hit 50 cents. Wrong again, my friend. Good try, though. Good try, but wrong again. Wait, Kriss didn't say that. 26K all day, baby. Fear Paul would like to see $30,000 Bitcoin. Heat maps. Going to the heat maps, baby. Looking at the heat maps. To the heat wave. Whoa, heat wave. Wow, look at all the new leverage right here that just opened up on Bitcoin. Millions of dollars. From 92.8 down to 92.6. Stupid G-Gen gamblers. D-Gens, I tell you. D-Gens. But they got all these shorts up here. Come on. It's just 96.6. $100 million. Could take that out. Easy pickings. Doge. Yeah, some new leverage longs down here. Down to 15.1. But not huge numbers. Bigger shorts up here at 16.2. There you go. The whole CME thing is something other people talk about. I'm just following along. because other people are talking about it. This is not like my thing. The ISM was at 60 when yeah, you can't really rely on Dogecoin following the business cycle though. Dogecoin doesn't trade like that. Dogecoin trades on its own hype. The October 10th, $20 billion liquidation event exposed the world to how corrupt the market is. Yep. Yep. And that was the sign. Many believe that we're going into a bear market now. That was the black swan event that kicked it off. Right there. We are all on an early Black Friday sell. Black Fridays, I thought traditionally weren't good in the markets. Usually it's going down. I don't know. We'll see. DJ and Charlie came back. Can't sleep. Well, welcome back. We're still here. $25K would be a dream come true. The monthly Doge chart looks good. Ready to go, right? Michael Saylor. James, you're going to listen to Michael Saylor? Says Bitcoin will go on a 10-year bull run since the launch of Bitcoin ETFs from January 2024, just as gold went on a 10-year bull run after the launch of the gold ETFs. Obviously, he's a permabull because he's got his whole life invested in this thing. There's a lot of other people have differing opinions than Michael Saylor. So his view is a little tilted on this, you know, not very objective. But it could. Don't quit my day job. I know, Fred. I was trying to do the heat wave, the old Linda Ronstadt song, and I couldn't remember the tune to heat wave. That's what was in my brain. Executor, how are you? Weird that alt season never happened and many sound projects are lower than in the 2023 bear. I know, right? Well, but for Doge, you could say last November was its alt season. Up to 48 cents. That was it. You heard the heat wave song in Walmart a few hours ago? That's weird. Friggin' Binance. I agree, Mick. Does Doge follow Bitcoin until alt season? No. Generally it does, except if there's more green days, Doge will outperform Bitcoin. But if there are more red days, Bitcoin outperforms Doge. That's how it works. We haven't asked. But you can't, it has to be a yes or no question for the Magic 8 Ball. The crypto market is corrupt, but yet a lot of us are in it because we have dreams of making a lot of money because it's happened before. $91.7 is the bottom of the CME gap, Adroba. We showed it earlier. $91.7. I guess we can really say this time is different. But yet there are similarities still. Similarities. It'll be really different if in 2026 Bitcoin and the crypto market go up. Then it'll be different. Right now, it's not too different yet. Look at all the Magic 8 Ball questions coming in. I think I just want to ask it if we're in a bear market. Bear market. Hey, Aussie. Good morning. Another kick in the pre-Christmas crackers. No, my bags. Are we cooked? Are we cooked? Hey, gross. Yeah. This year was, yeah, I mean, this wasn't the time to be buying a lot because it's been a down year. Don't ask the Magic 8 Ball that. Because why? You think it's going to tell you what you don't want to hear? Killing me softly. I agree, Anthony. If the 8 Ball says yes to being in a bear market, we might all die. We might all die, Pax Cat. Huh? What do you think? Well, but we're here for fun, right? Edutainment. Edutainment. And the Magic 8 Ball. Here it is, guys. We're ready. No, here it comes, TV. It's coming. Magic 8 Ball. Are we in a bear market? Here it comes. Are we in a bear market? Magic 8 Ball says, yes, definitely. Yes, definitely. There it is. Yes, definitely. Maybe this is one of those times that it's wrong. Maybe this time it's wrong. Just like it's a different kind of crypto season, it's a different kind of Magic 8 Ball. It not only said yes, it said yes, definitely. Did you see the video of the guy cracking open a Magic 8 Ball? That's been floating around. Duchess agrees. I get it, Joanna. Let's pray for your 8 Ball having an Ali effect. Yeah, it's a Kramer certified Magic 8 Ball now. Smash it. 8 Ball is wrong. I don't think it's wrong. That's terrible. I hate you. Oh no. Oh no. FML, we are cooked. We hope it's wrong. There it is. The ball has spoken. Well, there we go. The 8 Ball is quite the showman. I mean, that was the answer. The most dramatic. Screw you, 8 Ball. I'm going with the fortune cookie. Oh, 8 Ball, are you sure? The follow-up question, right? Oh, it needs new batteries. You know, it's like a 20-sided like Dungeons and Dragons die is what this is in here. If you saw the video on that, it's a 20-sided Dungeons and Dragons type of die, and it floats around in this pool of blue alcohol. It's like an alcohol liquid that it floats in. That's all it is. Wrapped in plastic, made in China. That's what it is. It's made in China. Ah! It's made in China. Ask the Magic 8 Ball if it's sure. Rigged. I need the 8 Ball to be wrong. Handy Dan, how are you? I must be committed or convicted. I added 10,000 more Doge. and you bought a bunch of bunk, well, then you are a believer in extended cycle, my friend. If you're buying now. That's cool on the 8-ball info. Yeah, there's a video out there. Some guy took the end of a knife and cracked open the clear plastic window, and the blue alcohol was like oozing out. Pretty happy losing that money, Will? Yeah. Hey, there's always next time, right? Hey, Pex Cat. There's always next time. Are you back? Are you back, buddy? No. If it's bear market, we're going to 62, dead cat to 90. Except if we go down 80%, it'll be $25,000 Bitcoin. I'm kind of in your line of thinking, though, that the lowest maybe Bitcoin goes is something like 62, like just below the previous all-time high. That's what I think. I know. Who's keeping the record of the accuracy of the KrissPax Magic 8-Ball? Ryan. Ryan's not here today. If the bear market is in, do we invite all the bears from Neverland back in? If it's a bear market now, it's going to be a short one. Well, that would be different too. Yep, not giving up. This crypto market thing it's hard to figure out. Just when they think they've got you down depressed, it can take off, though. It's weird. Rage spot buying. Is Joanna on board with this, Will? The rage part? Is she on board? Is the bull market over? Watch the first 10 minutes of this live stream all the way back at the beginning, and I go over that. The bullish Pax Cat signal, of course. We start talking about bull markets and bear markets, and guess who shows up? The cat. We haven't seen the cat in a couple weeks, and here he is to relax us all and to say no. Horror. Hey, Brandon, new to the channel. Did I make a good decision buying 2,500 Dogecoin? It's always a good start, Brandon, because you learn when you buy. You can't learn anything about crypto unless you invest in it. So now you've invested in it. That gives you, some skin in the game, right? And so you can listen better and learn more because you'll pay more attention. So that's the start. Now, there are some, Brandon, like Ismail here, who believes tomorrow we're moving up. There are others who believe we're going lower. So that's the first thing you need to learn is there's going to be a lot of people that have a lot of opinions. We don't know what the market is actually going to do. So that's my message to you is we don't know exactly what the market is going to do. I love Doge. In the crypto world, the constant thing forces you to learn more. Fred, yeah. Got to be in the game. And you learn a lot more over time. Yeah, Brandon, William is correct. You learn more over time. Tuesday will be another dump day, 7 straight Tuesdays. Yeah, we've been watching that. The Tuesday dump. Hopefully this is the one that reverses the curse. Reverse the curse. Right, Cat? He's dead. Right. I wasn't thinking July would run up. At the middle of the summer, I was like, it's sideways. I was surprised by that. Nonetheless, round trip it again, not selling, not what I want to do, but yeah. Felt it was too early to take profits. Part of the reason, Kronos, was I had a goal. And the goal was a new house and buying it cash. If I didn't have that goal, I mean, Matt asks me all the time that if I didn't have that goal and if I wasn't buying a house, would I have sold any? And I don't know how to answer that question because I did what I did. I did have a goal and I did sell like 85% of my crypto between December or November and January. So I don't know what I would have done if I didn't do that. Do you think a SpaceX launch Elon Musk is going to be funding through Doge will make the coin go up? Yes. Sometime mid-late 2026, probably, until that happens. Elon isn't funding it, though. It's being funded by Geometric Energy. You have to look them up. Geometric. They're the ones who paid in Dogecoin to SpaceX. All right. I'll be talking about that more next year if it really is a thing and it's going to happen. I'll remind everyone what the history was there. But nobody's going to believe it, that it's going to happen until it actually does. Hey, D, can Zcash be a hint as to what's to come soon? No, it did its own thing. While everything else was flat, Zcash ripped. Just because Zcash went up like that, that doesn't mean anything else will. But you're saying there's still a chance. You wish we had the same Doge price of, yeah. A year ago, I was selling. I was taking profits a year ago. Hard to believe it, huh? I will keep holding, waiting for the next bull run. Best movie. So many good quotes. But so you're saying there's a chance is the best one. Ooh. Or are you a volcano expert? I guess on Hawaii, it'd be good to know about volcanoes, wouldn't it? It'd be good to know a little something about volcanoes. Yeah, and that was the thing. Not only did I talk about a goal, but I also talked about slices of profits. And I began that discussion in September 2024 because I had a feeling the market was going to pump based on the election of Trump. I thought Trump was going to win, and I thought the markets would pump. And I was talking about, and this was over a year ago, and it's on my videos and live streams. You can go back and you can see it. All my quotes are there. And was talking about taking slices of profits because there were going to be opportunities coming. So this idea that people were saying I made them buy Dogecoin at 40 cents. And even a guy earlier said 50 cents. And this is like Doge couldn't even hit 50 cents. So I wouldn't even be telling people buy Dogecoin at 50 cents. But no, it was taking slices of profits and selling, not buying. But I know there was a lot of euphoria there and everyone thought the price was going to keep going up. So new people came in and they bought 42, 45, even up at 48 cents. I get that. But I wasn't telling people to buy. I was taking profits. Right, Pax. What were you doing? You were buying PopCat. You were buying PopCat, weren't you? Your own wallet. You loved the video yesterday on X Money, Aussie? A good video. I was just staying ahead of things. What's your problem, Austin? That was dumb. What I don't like, if we're in a bear market, the slow bleed, I'd rather crash to the bottom. Yeah, just rip the Band-Aid off, right? Just rip it off. Oh, Chaos Boy, dude. Now you're a member of the channel. You can't say stuff like that. I was selling. I was talking about taking profits. So you must have misinterpreted what I was saying. But I told everyone what I was doing. Oh, just kidding. Oh, you have to put, so in a chat, you've got to put a little rolling on the floor laughing emoji so I know you're kidding. All right? So I know that you're being sarcastic. So for next time, if you say something like that, put an emoji next to it so I know. Just kidding. Still live, Mats. Yeah, people all interested in this. And this is one of the biggest things going on in crypto right now. Are we in a bear market or not? It's like the biggest thing going on in crypto right now. Fetmain just bought some at 15.7. 42,069. See, everybody remembers. I told everyone. I set a limit order for 42,069 and it hit. To sell, not to buy. What do you think, Kat? No. Or an LOL, exactly. Kriss made me buy XRP. I can't believe I've made more money on XRP than just about any other crypto. It sickens me to know that. When I first saw that, it was during a live stream, and Ryan was laughing. Ryan was laughing his ass off. He thought like that was the most beautiful thing. Like that I made more money on XRP than anything else in that wallet. It's like, oh man. So my famous Monday DCA will be shifting into Bitcoin more than Doge because of the price change. You know, I would, if I was buying now, I would still be buying Doge because of this X money thing coming. I just have a feeling like Doge is going to pump. But hey, I've been wrong before. Yeah, XRP exploded when that lawsuit ended with the SEC because it was trading at like 50 cents. And then all of a sudden it was like $1.50, just like that. I wonder if X's money launch will happen around the same time as the Doge one. No, the Doge one mission isn't going to be till late 2026, I think, Matt. It's not anything close. I think X money is close, though. Maybe next month. We'll see. That would still make it a launch in 2025, which was the original schedule. My biggest trade was Doge. Second, ETH. Yeah, my biggest trade was Jasmine. In my personal wallet, it was Jasmine. Because I took profits at 3 cents and I bought at 0.003. So it was a clean 10x on Jasmine. That was my best one. I was a top 2% holder of XRP for 9 years. Sold last month and went all in on Zcash. All right, Fred, good luck with your Zcash trade. To be honest, when people see your Doge videos every day, you almost all would think that Doge is a good crypto that's worth buying. Right, but I don't tell people to buy. I'm just talking about the daily activity of Dogecoin. More positive than negative, yes, but you make your own decisions, and I always say that. Hey, Fat, I do not think Dogecoin will be integrated into X payments or X money when it's launched. It will not. I think we already know that. And a lot of people will complain, but I've been saying it for a year. For a year since they've been talking about X payments. I'm like, it's not going to have Doge when it launches. The money transmitter licenses that the X Corp has been getting, like out of the 41, I think 39 of them is fiat only. 2 of them have a combo fiat and digital asset transmitter license. Rhode Island was one of them, and I forget what the other one was. So no, Dogecoin is not going to be on X payments when it launches. If XRP dropped to 50 cents, I think it's going to be hard to get to $3 again. Well, you never know. There's always another bull cycle, right? 4 years from now. We don't know what's going to happen. And also, Dogecoin is a top 10 solid crypto. It's still in the top 10 despite all the negativity and all the sentiment that's so bad. And Doge is still a top 10 crypto. Because for the most part, it's the whole market that's down, except for like Zcash, but it's the whole market that's down. Tron has been doing better than Doge percentage-wise lately, so Tron was able to flip Doge back. But Doge will go on a big run, and it'll flip Tron again. That's how Dogecoin trades. Popcat went to from 49 to 10. Oh, PaxCat. Are you down on your Popcat? Are you down? He doesn't care. Missed the big green candles. It's been around. What about ZDoge? ZDoge had our alt season a year ago, Aussie. Might have just been a year ago. Hadish bought 100,000 Dogecoin on the dip at 15.5. Good luck. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it. Now, when Doge was a gift, right? Remember Doge was a gift? 8.9 cents just a little over a year ago. That's as close as I got. That's as close as I got to telling people to buy. And I even put it on my chart. Gift. That was the closest I got. And 2 months later, it went from 9 to 40. Actually, 45, right? So it did a 5x from that point in 2 months. See cash up in volume? That's good. I mean, it started to fall off, and then the volume picked up again, and people started buying back in. Yeah, a lot of retail doesn't have money right now. I get that. No, I get it, Anthony. I get it. But at the same time, I also have this YouTube channel, right? So I don't stop making videos, right? I keep making videos and keeping people up with the news. And the news tends to be more positive than negative. Even though the price keeps going down, there's still all this good stuff coming, and that's what's in the news. So I cover that. Fed's buying some also. Guilt by influence. At the rate Doge is going, it will lose top 10. I don't know. What's going to take it over? Zcash? You all in on Zcash? That would be one. What would be the next one? Because Doge is in 9th. It's got to go down 2 spots. What else? Chainlink? You think Chainlink is going to go up into the top 10? XLM? You all in on Monero? Really, tell me. What else is going to be a top 10 coin, Anthony? It's going to knock Dogecoin out of the top 10. Hedera? It's way down at 21st now. SWI? I did predict SWI would be a top 10. It got up to 12. Dash? Yeah, I said besides Zcash. Tyler. If Zcash is one, what's the other? I don't even know where Dash is on this list. I mean, Dash. What is the market cap on Dash? It's way down. Pepe has a better chance than Dash. Where the heck is Dash? There it is, 64th. It's only a 1 billion market cap. And Doge's is like 26 billion. Not quite Dash. I think Doge is sticking around in the top 10. Could Cardano pass it? Yep. Maybe it's Cardano and then Zcash. That's the only thing I see. But even Zcash is at 10. So Zcash has to more than double in market cap while Doge still loses $1 billion. Just keeping it real. Look at Doge, big green candle. See you, sunshine. A lot of big events coming. We were just at this same price right here. November 4th. We were at the same price. I think it's a double bounce, guys. Right at the bottom of my red box. Double bounce at the bottom of the KrissPax red box is what we just had today, my friends. Clearly, it's a double bottom. Look at that. Just because the whole market is down, Matt, that doesn't make it a bear market. Okay? Bearish, yes. But complete bear market where it's going to go months on end, keep going down. Remember, Bitcoin just hit an all-time high just a little over a month ago. You're shorting Zcash at 800? You think Crow can become a top 10? That would be a huge run on Crow. I don't know if it's got it in it. Yep, who knows? I agree. Zcash. Yeah, crazy. Still an OG coin. It's been around a while. Yep. And then the bottom was 13 cents back in April. For Dogecoin. Tyler bought some more. Miguel liking the price action. Some green candles. And it's a Sunday night, so we'll see. We'll see. All right. I got to let you go, Kat. I got to close down the live stream. Come on. Huh? Oh. All right, gang. Sunday night. See if we have a dump or we go higher. I'll be on again Monday, live stream. But I'll have a video in the morning as well. Got a lot to catch up on. I hope everyone has a great evening. We'll see you next time.
Dogecoin, which started as a complete joke, has like skyrocketed to not a joke anymore. It hit an all-time high of almost 10 cents yesterday, but it was so minuscule you wouldn't have understood why you have millions of shares.
Didn't Elon tweet that too?
And arguably, the most entertaining outcome and the most ironic outcome would be that Dogecoin becomes the currency of Earth in the future.